Hi, I'm Belinda Carli, the Director of the Institute of Personal Care Science, and I often get asked, how can I calculate a larger batch size? So in today's video, I'm going to talk you through how to do this with a very basic formula. Now the formula I'm using in this video also relates to our how to write a cosmetic formula video. So if you're curious on how to convert from drops or mil, grams or ounces into a formula, please watch that video first. This video is going to use the formula that we created in the proper format to help you calculate out a larger batch size. So you can make 100 grams, 500 grams, 2 kilos, 50 kilos of product confidently, knowing that your formula is going to be the same and your end product is going to be the same each time. Now on this first screen here, you'll see that I have the formula written correctly as presented in that previous video. The most important part is it's written to a 100% weight for weight total. So this means I'll have 100% of my formula and all the calculations will be kept constant. No matter if I'm making 100 grams or 100 kilograms, the proportion of each material will remain the same. Now, one of the great things about putting the formula into 100% weight for weight means that when I want to make my 100 gram sample in the lab, I can simply use the measurements listed here. For example, 5 grams of the Montanov 68 will be the same as 5% in my 100% formula. So to make a 100 gram sample in the lab, I simply make this percentage input my grams input, and I've got a 100 gram sample already calculated out for me. Now there's another great way to do this, because if you're looking at this formula, you'll be saying, but hang on Belinda, what about the water? That's not written with an exact number. So what we can do is we can use Excel. Now if you've never used Excel before, please have a look on the internet. There are loads of how to use Excel programs. I'm going to be using Excel because it's going to do the calculations for me and make my job easy. So first I've highlighted my cells. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to bring this over to Excel. I'm just going to make my C column a lot wider so that it doesn't get all jumbled when I bring the information over. And then I'm just going to paste that information. So all I did was copied from this formula, my cells here, and I brought it over to my Excel spreadsheet. Now what you can see here, I've got my phases still listed, I have my percentage inputs, and I have my materials. So I just need to adjust this water so that I have an accurate input. And of course to do that, I just need to subtract every other material from 100 and I'll find out exactly how much water I need. So for example, in a calculator, I can enter 100 minus 5 minus 0.3 minus 5 minus 5 minus 3 minus 1 and do that for all of these ingredients, and I would find that my water input should be 76.7. So I can enter that at the top. Now another great functionality of Excel and why I'm bringing my formula over to Excel to calculate a larger batch size is Excel does the calculations for me. So I can double check to make sure that the water input I've calculated means that my total formula will still equal 100%. To do so, I just click on this little sum figure. It will highlight the cells and I just press enter. I can see here that the total is 100. This is just my way of cross-checking that my calculations so far are correct. This means the formula adds up to 100%, and like I say, to make my 100 gram sample in the lab, I simply use grams for all of these inputs. So it's 76.7 grams of water that's required. It's 5 grams of glycerin that's required. It's 0.3 grams of xanthan gum required, and so on for all the other ingredients, and they'll total 100%. If you don't currently use the metric system, you will need to get scales that measure using grams, because we need to use grams so that we have accurate measurements every time we want to scale up our batch size. Now, when we make samples in the lab, we start with 100 gram samples. And that's how we calculate it. We start with 100 gram samples because often the theory we put together may not be exactly the type of product we want to make. And we don't want to use a lot of ingredients every time we make a sample, because you usually need to make a few samples before the formula's just right. So we make 100-gram samples in the lab each time to conserve our raw materials until we know we love the product. So now let's say we're really happy with this product and we want to make a larger batch size. Well, let me show you a few scenarios, and again I'll show you how we can use Excel to make our calculations easier. First of all, I'm just going to insert a column here. So I can right click on it, insert, and there's my extra column. Again, for basic guidance on how to use Excel, please do a Google search. There'd be loads of programs to show you some of these functionalities. Now let's say I want to make 500 grams. I'm just typing 500 grams at the top, and that way I know this is what I want this column to calculate out to. And one of the great things about Excel is, again, it will do the maths for me. So to get to 500 grams from my 100% formula, I simply need to multiply by 5. Because remember, using the 100% formula exactly as it is will give me 100 grams. So if I want 500 grams, it's just times 5. Now to do this, it's really easy in Excel. I just use the equal sign. I highlight the top cell in this column. I use the asterisk symbol and I type 5. And basically what I'm saying is I want to multiply this number here times 5, and I press enter. Now Excel will then convert that, it's what it recognizes as a sum, to give me the exact calculation, and you can cross-check this on a calculator. Then I can just click on this little side here and see that little plus sign and drag that down, and it will convert all of these individual inputs to times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 0.3 is 1.5. See how great Excel makes it so that we can remove some possible human error. And just to cross-check it down here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sum this column. Again, you'll see it highlighted, press enter, and my number down here is 500. So I know the calculations are correct. Now if I want to put this together in the lab, I will simply right-click on column C, and I'm going to hide this so I can't get confused with any of my calculations from the 100% or 100-gram batch. And then all I have left is the exact inputs I'm going to need to make 500 grams of this product. So now I'm just going to go back to showing you the 100%. Let's say now you want to make 2 kilos. So again, at the top, I'm just going to replace the 500 grams with 2 kilos. Now 2 kilos is 20 times 100 grams. So what I need to do here is change my sum, my calculation in Excel. I'm going to make it the top cell multiplied by 20 and hit enter. And then I'm just going to drag this down. It will change all of my totals, and now I'm going to press the sum button to cross-check that it's all done it correctly and hit enter, and there it is. It's 2,000 grams. 2,000 grams is 2 kilograms. I can again then hide this column, and I am ready to head into the lab with all of my calculations listed out nicely for me. Remember, this is all in grams. So I need 1,534 grams of water, which is the same as 1.534 kilos of water. Or you can keep it all nice and simple and measure it all in grams. That's how the formula has listed it out for you in the gram equivalents. Now this will make you exactly 2 kilograms of product. Now if we look back at the original formula, some of you may be questioning this final line here, QS pH adjuster. So how much pH adjuster am I going to need in 500 grams, 100 grams or 2 kilos? Well, the reason why it's written in the formula as QS, QS stands for quantum sufficient. It's a Latin term which means as much as needed. We can't always know, even from batch to batch, we can't always know, because sometimes there's the presence of ions in materials or water that can alter that pH just a little. So we don't write an amount for our pH adjuster, even when we've made previous batches, because the actual amount we need may vary slightly from batch to batch. So what we do is write into our method the final pH we want to achieve. And what this QS then means, as much as needed for each individual batch to achieve this pH range. So we don't put an amount for pH adjuster because sometimes it may be different. But we do want to reach this final target pH of 5 to 5.5, and that way we know every single time our batch calculations by input to grams, and we know we'll need as much pH adjuster as necessary to achieve that final pH. Now there's just one final step we need to do before we head into the lab, and that is to make sure that we have the formula and the method together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to highlight all of these cells in Excel. I'm going to right click on copy. I'm going to bring it over to a fresh Word document. I'm going to paste the exact inputs I want here. Then from my original formula, I'm going to copy the method and put it below the formula. Now I have my exact formula to make 2 kilos of product, and I have my method making sure if I measure out following these inputs by gram and make my product using this exact method, I'll get the same product no matter what batch size I create. Now on the screen I've got some common conversions for you if you want to make 1 kilo right through to 20 kilos of product. There's one really important final note I want to make, and that's just to remind you that there is sometimes different equipment required from the type of equipment you use to make 100 gram samples of product to 2 kilos or larger. The larger the batch, the greater the variance in equipment that you might need to use. We have a workshop on manufacturing from 5 kilos to 100 kilos that can help small brands pick and choose their equipment and their methods carefully to suit different batch sizes. And of course, if you need assistance with your specific scenario, we would need to offer consulting for that, because every batch, every size, and every type of equipment can alter some of these scenarios. Just be aware that as you get larger batch sizes, you'll need different equipment to help make sure you get a homogeneous, stable product from the formula you've created. Well, I hope that helps you understand how to calculate larger batches of your formulas accurately. Make sure you watch my other video on how to write a cosmetic formula so that you're familiar with how to transform a formula that might be written in drops, mil, or grams or ounces into the correct percentage weight by weight first. That's a very important first step. And once it's converted into that format, you can see how easy it is to calculate larger batch sizes accurately. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please leave any questions or comments below, and make sure you subscribe to receive notifications about all our videos. Happy formulating!